Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, I'm going to be reacting to it's called Reacting to the Kyrie Irving Comments About the Media. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to check out our Dreamerspro Podcast, which we have linked in the description below. Be sure to be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro website. It's coming soon, and also our Dreamerspro Premium platform, which will launch in next month. So be on the lookout for all of these things. So let me just get into the content right here. So Kyrie Irving has been in the media recently for some of the comments that he's been making. Now, before I go off and start saying whatever it is, let's just cover Kyrie in case some people just don't really know much about him. Kyrie Irving is a baller, man. He's a legitimate baller. He's a six-time All-Star. He's won an All-Star Game MVP award. He's an NBA champion. He was a Rookie of the Year in 2012. Last season, the guy averaged 27.4 points per game. Got you 5.2 rebounds and 6.4 assists. So Kyrie Irving, man, is a straight up stud. This guy puts up buckets in a hurry. If I look at his numbers, field goal percentage last season, he didn't shoot really well from the floor. He only shot 41% from the field, but he shot 40% from the three, right? He shot what? Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm looking at the preseason. Look at the regular season. Sorry. He shot 47.8% from the field last season. 47.8% as a jump shooter and a slasher. He shot 39% from the three. 39% from the three. He shot 92% from the free throw line. So Kyrie Irving, and 1.4 steals. Kyrie Irving is just a sensational basketball player. He probably hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history to give the Cleveland Cavaliers that title, their first title ever. He has probably the best handles I've ever seen any basketball player have in the history of the game, because Kyrie Irving's handles, it looks effortless. It looks like as if Kyrie is not really even trying when he crosses dudes up and splits double teams and all of that. I mean, it looks effortless, and that's what makes him so good. He's amazing at finishing around the rim, under the basket. I mean, Kyrie Irving has a pure jump shot. He can hit a fadeaway. He can hit pretty much any shot that like a Kevin Durant could hit, except he's just a shorter guy. He's a point guard. That's the only difference. Is the guy has every shot in his bag pretty much, man. So he is one of the most talented, electrifying players that we have in the NBA going. And Kyrie Irving is, he is box office, and he's super entertaining to watch play basketball. So let me just get that out, and let me just say that I enjoy watching Kyrie Irving play ball. So let me just say that. However, Kyrie Irving has had some knocks against him in the past. A lot of it has to do with his leadership and his ability to get along with other players. A lot of players seem to think that don't seem to mesh well with Kyrie Irving for whatever reason. Now, him and LeBron James didn't get along, and he decided that he wanted to leave that organization. And at one point, he said he was so adamant about leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers that he said, you know what? If y'all don't trade me, I'm gonna get my season. I'm gonna go get my surgery, and I'm just gonna sit out the entire season. He was that adamant about not being a teammate for LeBron James. That's Kyrie Irving. So he went to go play with the Boston Celtics, a team that had gone to the Eastern Conference Finals the year before he got there, and you're expecting all of these great things from him, and he didn't mesh with the players there. A lot of the players thought he was condescending. They thought he was distant. They didn't really understand him. And, that didn't work out in Boston. And now he ended up deciding to go play with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, let me just tell you guys something before I get to his comments about New Yorkers and their sports. As somebody that grew up in New York, grew up in Bronx, New York, went to high school and all that, junior high school and all of that in New York, had all of my fights and everything in New York. New York is a different animal, man. It's like any other city in the United States. New Yorkers are in your face. They're real. If a New Yorker doesn't like you, you're going to know. If they like you, you're going to know. I say that to say that the New York media is not like anything else you've experienced, man. They're not going to hold things back. They're going to ask you the tough questions. New York basketball fans are like, they don't tolerate it because they expect the best, because they call it's the Mecca, right? So New York is a different animal, man. Like, it's not like any other place in the States. Take it from somebody that grew up there. Now, let's talk about the comments that he recently had in the media, right? Referring to the media. So this is what and he was just recently fined $25,000 for violating the league media access rules, right? So he came out on Instagram and said these comments. I'm just going to go through them quickly. He said, "I've had enough of someone else's propaganda." Right? Like, nobody knows what. All right. He goes on, I don't talk to pawns. My attention is worth more. He goes on to say, "Instead of speaking to the media today, I'm issuing this statement to ensure that my message is properly conveyed. I am committed to show up to work every day, ready to have fun, compete, perform, and win championships alongside my teammates and colleagues in the Nets organization. My goal this season is to let my work on and off the court speak for itself. Life hit differently this year, and it requires me to move differently. So this is the beginning of that change." And and I heard he went on to quote Malcolm X or something like that. So those were Kyrie Irving's comments, right? Let me say this, and I'm dead serious about this, right? I followed entertainment. I followed entertainers. I followed basketball players. I followed movie stars when I was younger. I followed them a lot more than I do now. Now I don't really care as much, really, to be honest with you. But when I was younger, I did. And what I noticed, right, and I'm just being honest, what I noticed is that if you listen to most celebrities talk, especially celebrities in entertainment and sports, the majority of them believe, and I'm just being honest, this is what I think, the majority of them believe that they're smarter, that they're a lot smarter than they really are. What do I mean by this? If you watch a movie star get interviewed, right, any of them, or the majority of them, if you watch a basketball player or athlete get interviewed and they start talking, or an entertainer start, they'll be talking, and if you pay attention to what they're saying, you will notice that most of what they're saying is complete nonsense. Most of it, of what they say, is nonsense. They'll ask you, "What inspired you to make this album?" And you'll hear somebody say, "They don't want us to succeed. I was in that corner with my mind bubbling, and something hit me on the shoulder, and the fire in my stomach came out and said, 'Yo, you got to make them.'" It's like, what? Like, what? Like, what are you talking about, right? But that's most of these people. Most of them usually are saying a bunch of rubbish and nonsense. Most of them. If you ask them, "What did you have for lunch today?" they'll say something like, "Oh, I was inspired by the moon and the stars, and I saw a chicken walk down the road, and that made me think, man, I need to have some chicken fillet." And you're like, what? Like, what? And that's been the reaction to Kyrie Irving's comments. A lot of educated people are reading these comments and like, "Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean about pawns? Okay, pawns how? What do pawns have to do with it?" And this seems to be something that happens over and over and over and over again. And we as fans, we need to stop taking these people so seriously. The media is a go-between the fans and the athletes. If you say you don't want to talk to the media, it is one of the stupidest things you could ever say. One of the stupidest things a person could say in that position. Why? Because the media represents your fans. The media is going to ask questions that the fan base would want to know. So you as an athlete or an entertainer, why would you need to care about what they think? Because they're the primary reason you earn all of that money. If that's not clear to you, I'll break it down a little further. The reason why basketball players make so much money, for example, is not because they're so good at what they do. There are other professions there where people are just as good as what they do. The difference is that it's entertaining. Given the fact that it's entertaining, is more entertaining than watch somebody, for example, build cars or something like this, or people build bridges. It's more appealing to watch. More eyeballs are going to be on that thing. And given the fact that more eyeballs are going to be on that thing, it makes advertisers want to spend more money because that's where the eyeballs are. It's not that you are something special. It's just that what you do is entertaining the people. It doesn't make you better than a bus driver. It doesn't make you better than a doctor. It doesn't make you better than a lawyer. It doesn't make you better than a pilot. It doesn't make you better than a teacher. It doesn't make you better than a congressman. It's just that people feel like it's more entertaining. And given the fact that more eyeballs are on it, it raises the value of advertisers and the money that they're willing to spend to you. That's where TV deals come from. So a lot of these guys are taking themselves way too important. They're thinking way too highly of themselves. You're not that important for you to say that I'm not talking to the media. The media represents your fans. They're the reason that you're making all this money. They're the ones that patronize the product. Do you know that 40% of the NBA's revenue come from fans' attendance in NBA arenas? What do you mean? 40% of your money comes from those people. Why do you think Nike's giving you a shoe deal? Because you're popular. Who makes you popular? Your fans, because they watch the sport. These guys don't seem to grasp that concept. And it goes back to what Max Kellerman says. I think some of these dudes are just not really that smart. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're smart. And you see it time and time and time and time again. And this is the reason why people are coming at Kyrie, man. If you don't have anything intelligent to say, just don't say anything at all, man. When you're making these comments, you're not enlightening anyone. There's no one reading that comment and be like, oh my God, I'm enlightened. Who is enlightened by, unless, as they say, you sound smart to somebody that's not very bright. So for me, Kyrie, he's a sensational player, but a lot of athletes and entertainers take themselves way too seriously, number one. And number two, stop assuming that people that follow you are not intelligent. It is the stupidest thing you can do. Don't make that assumption that the fans are dumb or that it's not true. It's not true. A lot of the fans are professionals. They work. They have jobs. Some of them are business owners, people that are much smarter than you, much, much, much smarter than you. It's just that you play a sport where people find it to be entertaining. It's just that simple. It's more entertaining than, say, track and field, so people pay you more. So please, we got to stop with this. Like, you're not that important. You play basketball. It's entertaining. I like talking about basketball. I enjoy it. But just because I'm on YouTube and people, I'm not that, who am I? I'm just a guy out here talking about sports. I'll never have that type of mentality because maybe a lot of the people watching my videos are much, much smarter than me. So that's why I completely think Kyrie Irving's comments I think Kyrie Irving's comments represent a pretty much a lot of what a lot of entertainers feel. Like they have this sense of I'm more important when really you're not. Just that you play a sport and these people give you importance because they watch you. If they didn't watch you, you would just be a guy playing basketball. So please, we gotta be careful about that. These guys are just athletes. They're not gods or thought leaders or anything like this to be taken seriously. And for him to make those kind of comments, man, I think it's irresponsible. And you call yourself somebody smart, but a smart person will not jeopardize their own life. They won't jeopardize their own stream of income. You don't even realize that's the reason you're making all this money. You think you're making money because you play basketball well. Playing basketball well is a byproduct of the fact that people enjoy to watch you. If they watch your sport, they are the cash cow. The people are the product. Yes, you play and you're the product. I get all of that, but the fans are what make you who you are. Literally. And don't disrespect your fans like that and the general sports fan base. So guys, I know I went on long, but I had to get it off my chest, and I think it's something a lot of you guys will probably appreciate. So once again, let me know what you guys think about the Kyrie Irving comments and pretty much everything that I said in this video. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.